Hey guys, real quick before the video, I'm sure you already know about this. I think that every YouTuber has mentioned it recently, but we can vote on the next balance update changes, and I am just shocked right now that Ice Wizard is currently winning in the poll to get a buff on its freeze time to 2.5 second duration. Wow, that's incredible. The deck that we're going to share today with Tag on Voice does have the Ice Wizard in it, so this deck might even be more powerful than it is right now after the balance changes that should be coming the first Monday of October. But if you guys want to vote, there's still time. Maybe you want something else. Me personally, I voted for the Royal Recruits to be 7 Elixir, which I think they ought to have been in the first place. Not 6, not 8, but 7. Anyway, guys, what do you think about Ice Wiz? Do you guys think that he's underpowered right now? I feel like he's actually really solid. Anyway, guys, enjoy the video, enjoy the deck, and let's go ahead and get to it.
Yeah, because of ass in the course, wife asking divorce, taking half of your cash, now you asking remorse.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale with Tag back on the line, here to share his favorite Grvaeyard deck in the meta, and a lot of you guys have been asking in the comments for a Grvaeyard deck, so Tag, welcome to the channel, man. I'm excited to have you back on, dude.
Hey Ash, thanks for having me. How's it going, man?
It's going fantastic, dude. I mean, tough L there in Pro v Pro against Mini, but it was awesome that you were able to take down Surgical and end his streak. And hey, at least you lasted a few matches. And speaking of matches, you kind of were a victim of the matchups in that one a little bit, you know, till the end
no
at least.
Yeah, no doubt. The first and second and third games were all very matchup dependent.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I don't know. It was a fun series, though. He's an extremely good player. People don't actually realize how good he is.
I've been saying that every time he comes on a Pro vs. Pro or on the channel, that like just because he's underage, so he can't join CRL. He's not like a streamer or a YouTuber. It doesn't have like that name recognition oftentimes that some people do, like yourself. And I think that for some reason he just doesn't get a lot of credit as being like a really good player. But I've seen him like tear up pro brackets and stuff like that. So he's definitely a formidable opponent, Tag. But that's not why we have you here to recap Pro vs. Pro. It's actually to talk about this deck, and it's very similar to decks that you've shared here in the past with the Cannon Cart, but you have the Prince in there. I imagine just because Prince is better right now, in your opinion?
Yeah, man. So essentially what you're doing is you're taking the old Cannon Cart control deck. You have the core of Ice Wizard, Mega Minion, and Tombstone, which fares extremely well against all the Balloon decks, all beatdown decks, whether it's Giant or Golem. Very hard for them to ever break through that because they're not going to really be able to break through a Tombstone, and then the Ice Wizard NATO pulling everything back. It's really solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, this...
I like it. And like, if you think about it, against a Hog deck, you have NATO and Tombstone. You have like 2 counters to every popular archetype. Against Bait, you have NATO and the Log. Against, of course, Beatdown, you have NATO again and Tombstone and Prince and Mega Minion and Ice Wizard. So like, there's answers to everything they can throw at you. So, dude, I want to start out with a live ladder match, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, man, let's kick it.
Let's do it. So, okay, you're already in. Sweet. All right, so I assume that the starting plays for this deck are going to be Tombstone. What if you don't have Tombstone in hand?
Tombstone in hand, I might go for an Ice Wizard or Mega Minion in the back, depending if I have air responses. So okay. I really don't like going for a Tombstone as my starting play, though, because if you go for a Tombstone passively, like at the very, very start, you have to wait a second or two, and then they collect her up. You don't really have an answer, so that's not something I like doing.
And that's exactly what ended up happening there. When the opponent pumps, it looks like you're going against Golem, so hopefully it's an easier. Golem. Yeah, hopefully it's an easier matchup for you, or like we kind of talked about.
Yeah, really that's a really easy matchup. I shouldn't lose this. We'll see what happens, though. Yeah. I don't think that it's going to be very difficult.
Okay.
We go for a Prince here. Just make sure that the bat never gets on top of my tower. Notice how much damage that thing would have gotten.
Yeah.
That would have been hilarious. Not about it at all. Unfortunately, the Baby Dragon is going to get a ton of damage, and obviously the Spear Goblin will get some, so I'm going to go log that. But that will end up dying before it gets a hit. He's got Lightning, so that tells me, hey, he caught me off guard at the start. He ended up hitting an Ice Wizard and a Mega Minion. Very well played on his end. But when
never
I see
gonna
that,
do
I'm
it
like,
again, yeah.
But what I'm thinking here is, you know what? You have Lightning. What's going to happen when you try to go in and defend my Grvaeyard? You don't have Poison. I don't know how you're going to try to like make anything happen there. He doesn't have Goblin Gang in cycle because he just used it. He's only going to have Night Witch just now. He drops it off to the side. I can get a very nice poison on top of the pump, the Night Witch, and the tower, plus the Baby Dragon. So that worked out beautifully.
Yeah, that did. That was a value poison.
I definitely have to worry a little bit about the Baby Dragon. and the Night Witch bats accumulating. So I'm going to go for a Prince. I have to end up killing that. I could have NATO'd that back, actually, but I think the Prince will give me counter push potential, baiting out a Goblin Gang, so I'd rather do that. So there's a Goblin Gang, and I've identified, hey, he's going to be able to go in for a Golem and Lightning. When he goes in for the Lightning, I'm going to make sure that my units are staggered out. I'm going to go drop a Tombstone off to the side. I'm going to make sure that he never breaks through. So I'm going to go in for the Tombstone here. I'm going to go in for the Ice Wizard off to the side. I'm going to employ my NATO, and he's not going to be able to hit everything that he wants. So here we go. He's going to end up going... Yeah.
Sorry. Out of curiosity, do you agree with his decision to go same lane with that Golem to try to prevent you from counter pushing, or do you think that was a mistake?
I think it's definitely a misplay, but we'll wait and see how it works out for him.
Yeah.
It's a little bit crazy. He's going towards the tower that has less damage too, so not really too scared about it. So I can just go in for another Tombstone. He might not lightning this, but I'm really staggering out my units, so he's not able to get great lightning value, right? So
yep, pretty
important. Yeah, Ice Wizard's going to get some nice chip damage. I've staggered out all my units. There's no way he's breaking through.
Look at that Ice Wiz way with a long range shot over there on the left.
Yeah, dude, Ice Wizard is literally Kobe. So can end up going in for Grvaeyard. Yeah, he's definitely he definitely doesn't have a defense here. I just go in for the poison. He's got Night Witch or Goblin Gang. It dies. He doesn't have poison. He has lightning, so no way for me to defend.
Well, heck, GG, man.
Yeah, we had that on lock.
Yeah, now you guys see how relatively easy it is against, or then again, you make it look easy, but against a Golem matchup. Do you want to go over this replay and then maybe coach me on a live match?
Yeah, no doubt, man.
All right, let's do this. I'm going to press play in 3, 2, 1, go.
Here we go.
And yeah, talk us through this matchup here.
Okay, so he's running a P.E.K.K.A Magic Archer deck. This is also kind of difficult because he's going to have Magic Archer and Electro Wizard, which are two poisonable units. And he's also going to have poison. So when they run P.E.K.K.A with Fireball, you automatically win. Like, that's an easy win.
Okay.
But if they have poison, they kind of have matchup advantage. So in this situation, you really have to be creative of how you're going to kill the Magic Archers. Never let it cross the river. Make sure that you never drop a Prince in the middle. There are so many things that you have to be cognizant of. When they get a Magic Archer locked on your tower, quite often I'll have to log it back or NATO it back. It's difficult, man. I really have to focus on winning the bridge battles. When I saw him having the poison, I was like, no, not like this, please.
Why? How did you know? How did you know to go in with that Grvaeyard right there? Because to me, it seems like an aggressive play, even though you were even on Elixir. Like, how did you know?
When I win the battle at the river, I feel very confident going for Grvaeyards in most situations. When I see cards that are equivalent to bridge spam, right, they're not going to have like squishy swarm units. So if I see like Battle Ram and I don't think it's going to be a Three Musketeer deck, if I see Magic Archer, I'm pretty confident that it's either going to be bridge spam with P.E.K.K.A, or just straight up bridge spam. And then I kind of want to test the waters.
Okay. Because
there's no way for them to really punish me heavily.
Yeah. So now you've learned, obviously, that he does have poison. So what's your game plan? How does that change your game plan here?
It changes my game plan. Not too much. I have to go in for a lot of Grvaeyards to get through. Okay. That's kind of the thing. Whereas, hey, I can play really safe when they have Fireball and then make sure, hey, I have like counter push potential after counter push potential, find one amazing push, and then win the game. But now I have to go in for a lot of Grvaeyards, gradually chip him out because he's always going to poison. I need to get those little skeleton hits to eventually chip him out and potentially win the game via that.
Yeah, and in a way, you can see there that by you Grvaeyarding, it forced him to play poison. Then he couldn't really support that push. He had like an EWIZ and whatever. You know, he had like a few units. So you were able to poison them out too on the other side.
Yeah, I was also way too happy when he let that Ice Wizard lock on. Like, I was just, I don't know, man. Any little bit of chip damage in this matchup feels good. I'm going to go for a poison and log, I assume. Yeah, so sometimes when you play against bridge spam unit players, you just want to poison the river if they're really trying to stack up a lot of units, especially if it's going to be a Magic Archer. You're going to kill the Magic Archer, guaranteed value there. Like, why would you ever, like, not poison?
Sure, yeah, 4 for 4 at the very least.
Yeah, and the Battle Ram was awesome. It ended up killing the P.E.K.K.A. It killed the Battle Ram, doubled the domination, dude. Took both of them out.
Sure. And again, here, able to get, like, all your chip damage is really starting to add up here.
Yeah, man. I just played very calculative this entire game. I was just like, okay, I really can't let him lock on. I can't let him get through. This time, he's playing this really well. Like, this guy's a good player. He went in for a P.E.K.K.A in the back when I couldn't punish. I didn't have Grvaeyard in cycle. I can't distract the P.E.K.K.A. I can't punish him with a Prince. Like, so this guy, like, the entire time, he's playing well. This is much better than typical Grand Challenge players. So I wasn't able to just break through and get a Grvaeyard win. I just had to play really methodical, and I gave him a lot of respect the entire game because of that. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
And still he hasn't done any damage to your towers yet. So
because I was scared the entire time. I was like,
you've been like, up until this point, I think you've been really, and he finally locks on with that magic archer, and you NATO him away. That was a nice NATO.
yeah, that's what I said earlier.
Yeah.
I'm scared of the magic archer, so we don't mess around with it.
Because sometimes they can sit back there and just like, before you can get to him, and especially in that situation, so that was probably a really smart NATO. So he
Again,
does get
dude, this guy is playing so well. He stops the prince from crossing the river with the magic archer and the royal ghost. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I actually really need to be able to break through. I'm going to go for the Mega Minion. I'm going to go for the Grvaeyard. I realize, hey, I'm not going to get a lot of damage with my Grvaeyards, but at least I bait out the poison. I at least make him on the defensive, and I will get at least a few hundred damage for a 1 elixir trade. So he poisons. It's a +1 trade for him. He still does retain maybe anywhere from 100 to 300 damage each time, depending on RNG.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a good interaction for me. And it's like log does 84, right? So
Yeah.
if you poison and you get 100, feels pretty good, man, for 1 elixir.
And that was a nice NATO poison there to make sure you hit that princess tower as well.
Yeah. Also, I'm looking at the game right now. I'm like, okay, his tower is at 348. Log does 84. Poison does 216. Cumulatively, they do 300 together. So I just need to go 2 more logs, 1 more poison, like the W. So I just looked at it from that perspective.
Yeah.
But I obviously just went for a Grvaeyard because he didn't have poison and cycle when he went aggressive. So I didn't even have to like double spell him. I would have played a little bit more capriciously. I wouldn't have really went in for the Grvaeyard if I didn't need to, but it gave me the opportunity. I would have just cycled 2 logs and then a poison.
I loved the tempo of that match. Like just really nice cadence of going really aggressive in single elixir time, and then double elixir time you have kind of that moment where you collected yourself, played a little bit of like tough defense, and then you're able to finally finish it off kind of chipping away. It was interesting that you got the majority of your damage in single elixir time. Do you find that to be the case, or how does the tempo of this deck and the cadence, I guess, of what you're playing, how you're playing it, how does it change depending on single versus double?
So when he's a good player, right? If you look at his profile, he's got over 300k cards, won like top ladder. He's not going to let me get damage in double elixir when he has poison. So I really need to get more damage in single elixir to start off. But yeah, it depends, man. If I'm playing against a fireball or lightning deck, it's easy. It's always double elixir. Or if I'm playing against a bait deck, I always wait till double elixir before I get all my damage. In single elixir against poison decks, that's usually where you get the majority of your damage. Like you catch them overextending on offense once, then you drop a prince. Because prince is overpowered, usually your opponent's going to spend more elixir than necessary to counter it. As a result, if you go in for a Grvaeyard with your prince, they're probably going to incur massive damage in single elixir. So against poison decks, that's probably the best play to get more damage in single elixir. But against fireball, lightning, any other type of spell or lack thereof, you just get a lot of damage in single elixir or in double elixir when you get there. So
yeah. Hey, well, I'm gonna hop into a match now if you're ready.
No doubt.
Let's do this. All right, here we go. We'll see. So bait and poison single elixir, fireball, lightning, double elixir. Got it.
Well, bait and single elixir if they cycle their goblin gang. So if they cycle their goblin gang, they typically don't have like another counter, right? So if it's traditional bait. So we'll see what this is.
So I should have just NATO'd that, but I was scared. So
yeah, understandably so. It's hard to decipher where it's going to be if you don't have. Yeah,
so I'm
Tombstone.
just gonna. Ice Wiz.
That's solid.
Does get a lot of chip damage. Should I go in for a Grvaeyard here?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
So he just showed Goblin Gang, Miner, and Goblin Barrel. He has the potential of going in for a crap ton of bait units. You don't know if he has poison. You don't know anything about it. You would automatically lose the game if you overextend. Do you want to NATO that up or log it? Either works. Cool.
Okay, so I took a little bit of damage there.
He's probably gonna have Fireball and Inferno Tower variation, but yeah, you're gonna have to NATO that most likely.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Still taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, this is one of the harder matchups. Even though you got triple spell, you got to make sure that you get the right card order. So
Yep.
typically, you really are gonna be taking damage in single elixir,
Okay.
and that's his MO. If he gets a lot of damage on you in single elixir, that's good for him. When double elixir hits, then you can go more adventurously with graveyard poisons. So
Okay, should I
Kinda what
prince
you
in the
wanna
back? Okay, should I
you
prince
can
in the
nato that to
back?
king. He's drawing that super back.
I didn't have the NATO in hand.
Okay.
Should I prince in the back here or?
You can cycle Prince in the back. I probably wouldn't cycle a Ice Wizard or Mega Minion because he's going to fireball them. So,
Okay.
or you can set up a Tombstone defensively. Either works. Like,
Okay, so I have Grvaeyard and I have poison. Should I do it?
a double elixir, I wouldn't do it yet.
Okay.
It's you're just going to get met with a minion horde to the face, and it will feel really bad when he goes minion horde opposite lane on you. That was a really good mega.
Ah!
Oh, barely doesn't.
What
Oh,
the
dude,
heck? Now that I wasted all my air targeting
I thought you
cards.
snagged him. All
Me
right, you
too.
can go for a graveyard poison.
Okay.
Can definitely have to log that though. Oh man. Yeah, so those are his only two spells are Zap and Log. So I thought he was gonna have Fireball. I thought he was gonna run the Durga deck, but he doesn't. So he doesn't have direct damage. So you can definitely still win this. You gotta catch the minors though.
Yeah.
Oh man, that miner, sneaky miner. We're gonna call that the B-Rad miner, okay?
I think this is gonna be a rip, but I have no choice.
No doubt.
Man, this is
You can
tough.
poison the princess too, and the Goblin Gang. Most likely, yeah. Definitely gotta log that one.
Yeah.
It was just a little bit of a difficult cycle, obviously. This deck doesn't cycle the best, so sometimes you're going to incur some damage. You have to play it perfectly in these type of situations, but it's
Yeah.
definitely doable. It's definitely doable. You just got to make sure that you
Yeah,
master
Zap.
the timings of like NATOing and logging Goblin Barrels. It's kind of difficult, you know?
Yeah, well played by him. I guess enough of me, probably. Let's watch you play another one.
All right, man, we got it. No doubt.
Let's do one more. Oh no, I lost my leak. I'm just kidding. All right,
All right, let's go into it.
here we go.
Got him.
So in that matchup, what could I have done differently? Obviously, didn't activate King Tower, didn't help.
Didn't activate King Tower, ate some damage from the Goblin Barrel with a later log. There were a few things like that.
So just like technical mistakes mostly.
Yeah, technical mistakes that compiled and resulted in an L.
Okay, here we go.
So here we go, dude. Maybe we got the bait. Maybe we got the sauce.
Maybe you can show us how it's done.
Yeah, hopefully.
Ah,
We'll
I
see.
don't know about those minions. Though.
Oh, I wish I hit that log on the princess. That'd have been sick.
Okay, so it's the Hog Mini P.E.K.K.A deck, maybe.
Yeah.
You're learning from Ash there, Tad.
I done goofed there, man. I definitely done goofed.
Really,
That was
really,
a lot
really
of
nice of
damage.
you to make me feel better. All right,
No problem, bro.
yeah. All right, so now let's show us how to come from behind. Well, you know he's playing Hog Freeze. Probably like, I don't know, Mini P.E.K.K.A maybe?
It's Hog Freeze, like Princess, Mini P.E.K.K.A, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a pretty funny misplay, though. Feels
Yeah.
bad when that happens. He's actually going to rocket that. That's a pretty aggressive play. I feel confident going in for a Mega Minion here and then going Graveyard opposite because he just expended
Nice.
his minions.
Okay.
So I don't know how he's going to defend this, but I also don't know how I'm going to defend those minions. So I think we might just tower trade.
He's gonna freeze, yeah.
That's a really crazy play. I think he still loses his
Ooh.
tower phase. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm thankful that he went in for those minions. I think I can definitely bounce back in this game. It's just a really bad play missing the tombstone at the start. Potato plays for days, man. So
All right, so so just kind of reloading here, and
Yeah,
again, against the kind of a freeze deck. I don't know, man. Like, how do you handle freeze decks? They're everywhere. It seems like. Just
Yeah,
careful,
they're-
just being careful not to drop all your units at once, basically.
yeah, pretty much, man. I mean, this matchup right now, I'm gonna try to do a lot of damage on the left, and then I'm gonna try to like swerve all the way over to the right. I don't know if it's gonna work, but that's like how I have to win this. I can't really play any other way. I have to get a lot of damage on the left, so then I can transition. If I have the King Tower attacking my graveyard, I kind of just lose the game, right? So
Okay.
I have to play aggressive and take out the left tower and then transition to the right. really the only
Wow,
way.
what a smart play. Oh
If
my
I took
god.
out the right, which would have been really, really easy to do, I would have just simply lost to him screwing me over with,
yeah, yeah.
King Tower activation, you know?
Wow. So is that something that's I'm really glad that happened actually, because is that something that you do often? Is like, let's just say let's say you were in the
yeah.
lead there, would you still have switched towers?
No. If I was in the lead, I would have just known that he wasn't going to break through and I would have won the game.
Gotcha.
But because I potatoed, I actually had to do that. So, yeah.
Well, there you go. Well played. Nice
We bounced
recovery,
back,
man.
man.
Nice recovery. I like that. So if you're down and you want to make a comeback, then you would advise, no matter what matchup you're going against, to follow that kind of template, that strategy?
In some situations, but in that matchup in particular, I wouldn't have won the game if we went into a 1-1 scenario, because
Sure.
he would have just like used the king tower, princess, goblins. I would have lost. I
Sure.
had to take the tower there.
Well played, man. Hey, dude, thank you so much for coming on and sharing the deck and playing some live matches for us. Always a pleasure to have you on. Anything we should look forward to on your channel, man?
Yeah, dude, a whole bunch of missed tombstones and comebacks for days. So
Nice.
that's pretty much it.
Always. Go ahead.
I'm uploading daily, and yeah, I've been having a lot of fun. So
Yeah,
check
man.
me out at SirTag CR.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate the grind of another daily uploader. So keep with the good work. And obviously, all of you guys watching should subscribe and check out SirTag. If you haven't by now, it's probably the 10th time you've been on the channel, right? I would say right now, but maybe even more. But you're one of, obviously, you're a fan favorite. And thanks again for coming on, man. I always appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Ash.
No problem. Guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Pay attention to tags, replays, and not this noobs. But hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, guys. Check out Tags, player stats, and profile links to statsroyale.com in the description below, along with his YouTube, his Twitch, and his social media. I'll have that all below in the description, as well as the deck link. Best of luck using the deck. Huge shout out to Bren Chong, my YouTube partner. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, guys.